What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Petrakis. I'm the founder and CEO of Batch. I'm feeling very red and sweaty down here in Miami, but it's all good because I'm interviewing Nelson, who is the owner of Cabana Boys, one of my favorite partners on the Batch platform. He has built an awesome business from the ground up. So we're going to get into his origin story today, how he's used Batch to expand into 7 markets, and what's next for the business. Mr. Nelson, you are fresh off of brunch.
I am
jealous.
Fully brunched up. Yeah.
Thanks for joining me in Miami.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite.
Good to see you, man.
You too.
Yeah.
Loving the swag.
Last time, thank you. Thank you very much for the gear. Last time we hung out, it was in LA. It's doing a live show.
That's right. KTLA.
Yes.
That was a good time.
I think that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
Please just give the quick background. You are the founder, CEO, owner, and chief Cabana Boy.
That's
so
right.
Give the backstory.
Yeah. So I'm the owner and chief Cabana Boy, Cabana Boys Events. We are a mobile bartending and party hosting company. We operate under 5 different brands in 7 different cities.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Unreal.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a fun ride, but hopefully Miami is going to be our 8th.
That's right.
Working on getting
We're scouting today.
Exactly, yeah. Actually, funny you say that. I was at a restaurant last night.
Just looking around for guys.
Well, the bartender, he asked me, he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm here for work. What do you do for work outside of this? Or like, do you have other jobs? And he's like, no, this is my only thing. I was like, well.
You're pretty handsome, bartender.
Yeah. And I went to a fitness class this morning. Same thing.
Oh, my
the
God.
Coach there was like, hey, if you need a side gig, we're hiring. So, always be scouting, as they say.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thanks.
So give us the backstory. How'd you start this thing?
Yeah. So I've always kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I've always really liked getting people together. When I lived in Austin, I had a small event planning company. So, and I would just like plan birthdays and little charity events and like that kind of stuff for my friends. It was nothing big, but I just love getting people together. Mm-hmm. And so in 2020, the world shut down. Mm-hmm. I was recently single. I lost my job. There's not a lot of social, interaction. Luckily, I lived in Arizona.
Some darkness.
I know, right? But luckily, I lived in Arizona where it started to open up a little bit faster than some other places in the country. But one of my friends from Austin.
I mentioned the darkness because same here. I started Batch in 2020.
That's right. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Totally. I was living like basically above a garage. So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But, we weathered the storm and now we're here. But so my friend from Austin, she was in town and she's like, hey, do you want to come to our Airbnb? We're here for a bachelorette party and just hang out. And I was like, yes, I'll be there soon. Like desperate for social interaction.
Yeah.
And I brought one of my buddies with me, and there was 2 other guys there that were friends of the maid of honor.
Okay.
And she had just paid them just $50 just to hang out and serve drinks.
What?
Yeah. I don't know how she knew. Like friends of friends, basically.
Wow.
There wasn't like a company. It was just like some connection she had.
And you're like, wait a second.
And I was like, started asking questions, had a couple drinks, asked him some more questions, and long story short, I was hungover in bed the next morning, going to GoDaddy, bought ScottsdaleCabanaBoys.com.
No.
And just kind of like took it from there.
How much was that domain?
That's a great question. It was cheap. I looked at
like $5.
Yeah, something like that. I looked at buying CabanaBoys.com and it was like $5,000.
Yeah.
So, still have not done that, but,
it could be time.
It might be time.
I saw your Instagram rebrand.
Yeah, we're doing that to the website too. So we're now like Batch Party hosts. So it's a little bit more inclusive of all of our brands.
Okay. So do you remember when Batch first entered the picture?
It was honestly, I'm saying it's like the first couple months.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because what I was thinking, like you said, I'm opening up multiple locations even before, I quit my job. Yeah. So the way to do that would be you need built-in demand to a degree, right? Yeah. So then your job is going to find like this, what I'm referring to as the supply side. But for you, it's the product, the people, right? The service that you're offering. So that's why like you getting like, we had to do our job, which is like demand injection, and tell you where the big markets are. And then you had to do your job of like finding the best people.
Yep. 100%. And it was, when I was first starting out, like I knew that I couldn't solely rely on like social media and Google and like those things. That's where I get a lot of my business. But if I could find something that's, or someone that's kind of more like a thought leadership and, like you said, demand generation, and can send business my way. Like instead of me finding
kind of tell you where it makes sense.
Right. Instead of finding one maid of honor that's going to book one party. I find one partner that's going to refer hundreds of parties. You know? So.
Yes, we have droves of parties.
Thousands, not hundreds.
Hundreds of thousands. You quit your job, you take this on full time, and then just like walk us through then to now, like in terms of like the build out, you remember, like pivotal moments from each year that you remember, key milestones that were important to you along this journey.
So Austin was pretty straightforward in terms of us opening, because I had a guy from Scottsdale move out there to help me open up. So he was a Cabana boy in Scottsdale, so he kind of knew how the business was running and could help me out. And he wanted to move out there anyway. So that one was pretty straightforward. But then we opened up Savannah, Palm Springs, and Nashville all at the same time, which is fall of 2023. I think that's right. And that's right around when I quit my job. And that was definitely hard, opening 3 markets at the same time, and then also starting another brand. So we had Cabana Boys in Scottsdale. We had the Cocktail Cowboys in Austin, but we actually started with Cabana Cowboys in Austin.
Wow.
Which didn't work because we pigeonholed ourselves into pool parties. And there's not every Airbnb has a pool.
I have another question. When you go open up these cities, because for like what I know, you work with Batch to be like, I'm going to launch new experience pages. And like, once you have the people identified for those markets and you have a experience page that you're opening on Batch, I can see how that makes sense. What are you doing on your end? Like what other, like, do you have to buy new domains and stuff?
No, good question. So not really. Now,
it's amazing.
Now we're at a point where we can just create a new location page on our website.
Okay.
And then also,
so you just funnel it
pretty much. Okay. And so we partner with you guys. So it's the new, experiences on your platform, other partners that we have running ads we don't really run geography specific ads because so many of our customers are traveling. So we don't really do that. But it's just getting everything set up on our website and our booking dashboard. And then just like saying, hey, we're in Miami now.
Incredible. Walk me through the economics of this business.
So, it's definitely with any company as you grow, there's certain milestones and things that kind of put you in another echelon of business, right? When I started, it was like me with one bank account taking $300 at a time. And it was just me working the parties, like pretty straightforward. Right? Now we have more dynamic pricing. We have 3 full-time staff. We obviously have all of our bartenders as well. But at its core, we have a party and we have our costs for that party are our labor and a little bit of money for like job supplies, right? So our polos, cocktail shakers, that kind of stuff. Overhead wise, like I said, it's our admin staff and insurance and that type of stuff. And then obviously marketing too. But it's pretty
that you would outsource as much as possible through Batch so long as you can.
Totally. So I haven't talked about our 5th brand, which is the Cocktail Crew.
Okay.
The Cocktail Crew is our traditional bartending brand. So it could be for bachelorettes and group trips, but it's also for holiday parties, weddings, corporate events. It's just more traditional, professional bartending. And the biggest difference between the party hosting, the Cabana Boys, and the Cocktail Crew is with Cabana Boys, they just go online and book. A customer doesn't have to talk to us before they book a party. With the Cocktail Crew, they do have to talk to us before they book a party.
Okay.
And so right now I'm doing all that.
We have worked together for a while now in terms of telling you where we're seeing a lot of growth. You are going and opening up that market. You have created unique experiences in each of those markets, Cabana Boy versus Cocktail Cowboy, that I think have just been a huge hit on Batch.
Yeah, definitely.
So how's it looking from your end? I mean, your engagement with Batch is kind of a day one. So
I mean, it's like you said.
We're like your business partner.
Pretty much, I probably bother Rachel too much. Like, hey, send me this data. Like, when I was considering opening up Miami and we're trying to open up 30A in San Diego as well now.
Okay.
But a lot of that decision was based off of your guys' data. So it's super, super helpful.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like we're just the data center because I get phone calls from a bunch of different partners that have the ability to scale at new locations. Because what you offer is unique. Like you have a unique business model that you can go open up in new locations.
Yeah. And so
you should be hounding us all of the time.
I know. Well, the analytics dashboard that you guys created a few months ago.
I told you about that.
I know. It's great.
I followed up on that.
Yeah. It's great, but it's awesome. I love the data, but what I will say is that it's also like, it's motivating on one hand, but almost like a little discouraging on others, because one of the, like metrics on there is like number of parties in this, or number of bookings, or I don't know what you guys call them, but parties planned in the next 6 months.
Yes.
And it's like thousands. And I'm
like, what the hell?
Why are we not a part of more of these, you know? So after I saw that metric.
Yeah.
And
especially because you're in so many markets.
Right.
So you're like, this is 150,000 parties that should be booking with us.
But I went through all of my experience listings and refreshed them all.
Okay.
To like try to like make it a little bit more, like change the titles and the description and everything to make it like more appealing. So
good. And
I actually have noticed an uptick lately.
The past 2 weeks, I was looking at that data and I was like, there's a ramp occurring right now. Yeah.
Good.
Because the other thing about the market, the signaling that batch is like, if you are truly paying attention to batch, you will look at it as, okay, batch is the market of group travel, and you can kind of predict what will happen in a certain market based on the number of upcoming parties.
Yeah.
And we saw slower growth in Q4 and then extreme party growth in like Q1, like January, February.
Did you see though, one thing I noticed is the lead time decreased year over year.
Yeah.
People are planning closer to
party types.
Okay.
That's because new party types are entering batch at a faster rate than they used to. We used to be 96% bachelorette parties. Right. Now it's all these other party types.
Right.
So the booking lead time shrinks.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. I think in general, like that makes a lot of sense for sure. Also, I think that like the post-COVID demand for travel, like isn't quite as inflated now. So people are like not planning, 4 months ahead of time where they were before. Now they're planning like two months ahead of time.
Totally. Which is great.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay, so Batch has been a big partner to you to launch new markets. Yeah. Now you have your data and insights dashboard.
Yeah, so the self-service capabilities within your platform have been super helpful.
Good. We're like, about damn time.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Beyond that, honestly, I just can't say enough about the analytics dashboard.
Good.
Because it also not only tells me new markets, but it also tells me what type of like experience I should branch into. So one example of that is in Nashville. As you guys know, like Broadway is the 800-pound gorilla. Like everybody goes to Broadway. Most of the activities center around Broadway. So one thing that we did is open up a bar crawl there. And so now we have Broadway boyfriends. And so now we're like, instead of like saying, hey, you should leave Broadway and come to your Airbnb and we'll party there, we're like, all right, here's the Cocktail Cowboys on Broadway. We'll show you a great time there. And a lot of that came from some of the data that you guys had.
Amazing.
So, yeah. Beyond that, I mean, it's, I don't know. You guys are forward thinking thought leaders in the space and transform my business even more. And I'm fresh out of ideas right now.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
For all the new people, for all the entrepreneurs, anybody that wants to get into the experiences space, any advice for them as a sole founder who has built this thing from scratch for the past couple of years?
So I think I went about it a little bit differently than some founders do, right? Someone who, whether it's a marketplace or a software platform or, someone seeking outside investment, you got to be very detailed with your business plan and like put it all on paper and have a plan of action. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I built, and as a cliche thing.
You're telling me for Cabana Boys, you didn't have a 60-page PDF report.
Not quite.
Detailing all the outfits that we discussed.
Yeah.
And the tagline.
Right. No, so I built the plane as it was taking off. Yeah. Right. It's if you have an idea, try it out and put some effort into it. If it flops, then it flops, right? And move on. But like, you're never going to find out if it's going to work or not if you don't do it, right? And that's luckily I found a niche, like I had a unique idea and it worked, and not everybody can do that. And that's fine. Well, let me correct myself. Everybody can do that, but not everybody will find that unique idea. But just, you don't want to get stuck in paralysis by analysis. Just go. Just try it out. Talk to people. Part of the reason that I feel like I've been successful is because of my partner network. And at the beginning, I'll be honest, like I had a lot of partners, and I went through an exercise a couple of years ago. I reached out to all of them, said, hey, here's some things that are changing with my business. Here's how I'd like to partner with you. Are you still interested? And got a lot of people never even replied. They just like straight up just did not reply.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, well,
define partner network for me real quick.
People who I refer business to or they give me business.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. Or not necessarily direct bookings, but some sort of awareness.
Okay.
Right? So it's not necessarily like an integration with our booking platform
for sure,
or something like that, but it's, maybe it's a yoga company that sends us business, something like that. But I feel like a lot of my success has been because of that partner network, and you guys are our biggest by far, but you can't go this alone, right? You have to lean on other people in the industry who have been around longer than you have to get that sort of like information or data or just like help each other out. So, I think that's been a key to my success, is just like my ability to just go for it, and also just like not try to be a hermit and do it all myself, while I am a sole founder and I don't have a business partner, like I still have relied on other people's opinions and information, to help us grow.
Where do you want to take it from here?
Yeah. So I've got my eyes on 14 cities.
Okay.
We're in 7 right now, for the party hosting brands. But I honestly think like the cocktail crew is going to be like the big growth engine for this. Because, bachelorettes are super popular in those 14 cities, but the cocktail crew can go to Birmingham, Alabama, or San Francisco, or Denver, or Minneapolis, or like any city that is having an event. Right. And if you want a good, charismatic bartender that can make a mean drink, that's what we're there for.
It's a big market opportunity.
100%. Yeah. So I basically want to, 2 parts. I want to vertically integrate the bachelorette industry, by offering our service, but also short-term rentals and apparel and potentially bars and restaurants and potentially beverages.
It's timely for batch.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? I saw that email. And then horizontally integrate the private event bartending industry, which is where the cocktail crew would come in.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's go get it.
I'm ready.
Good to hang with you, my man.
You too, man. Thank you
for coming to Miami.
Yeah, this has been fun.